Disney Plus is, I think we all agree, I think all of us agree, Disney Plus has been a little bit of a mixed bag with their originals since they launched. They had some huge, fantastic stuff. Andor, WandaVision, I Love Ms. Marvel, Mandalorian, at least seasons 1 and 2. They've also had some significant misses. So a little bit of a mixed bag. But then they come out with this little show, rebooting Percy Jackson with Walker Scoble, the mini Ryan Reynolds from that movie he did with Ryan Reynolds on Netflix. Like, what was the name of that movie again?
The Adam Project.
The Adam Project. Much better than it had any business.
It was
being.
good.
Yeah, it was a fun little film. Well, in classic form of streaming, looks like we might have to wait a while to get a season 2. Because Forbes is writing, it's conceivable we may not get it till 2026. This comes to us from Forbes, who wrote an unfortunate update on Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 2. They write this. As is tradition in the streaming era, it takes way too long for shows to air new seasons. Hell yeah. Furia. He's absolutely right about that. Waits way too long for new seasons to come, with anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years in between them in some instances. Now, we have some news about Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 2 on Disney Plus, but it definitely falls into that category. And there's an additional problem given the age of the cast. Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 2 will not start filming until at least fall. That means between filming and post-production, it's going to be a long time before the series returns, and we can estimate just how long that's going to be. You see, season 1 of Percy Jackson started filming in June of 2022. Filming ended in February of 2023. Then the show actually aired, with all the post-production, in December of 2023. So, they extrapolate. By that math, let's say that the earliest that Percy Jackson starts filming is September of 2024. That would be a March 2025 to finish filming. Then if post-production is the same, that would be a January of 2026 release date. So in our best case scenario, we're looking at a Percy Jackson and the Olympians that comes out late 2025. But if it follows roughly the same timelines and patterns, and listen, they may decide to go a little bit bigger with season 2. They may decide to make it a little bit more grand, put a little more in it. The first season was a big hit. Let's ramp it up a little bit. In which case, finishing faster than the first season did seems out of the question. So we're talking January, February 2026. Now, of course, this is not official. Disney Plus has not said this. This is Forbes extrapolating, but their data is sound. And Rob, it does bring up the point that they mentioned. And we talked about a little bit on yesterday's show too. It's freaking infuriating to me that in a day and age where they make a third of their shows, a third the amount of episodes that shows made for themselves traditionally, takes a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years in between seasons. And they also touched on another problem they're going to have here, Rob. The cast of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, these kids, who were, by the way, all wonderful.
They were really good. The cast is really good.
Wonderful in season 1. They are at that age where their physical changes happen the most rapidly. A kid looks different between 18 and 22, but not that different. A kid their age to 2 years later looks really different. I mean, they make a lot of physical changes. And so I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge for them. They cannot tarry on this, Rob. They got to move on this. So I don't know. You hear about this. What do you think about it? Do you think they can get it out sooner than that? What do you think about the aging problem? Are they just going to fast forward, or I don't know. What do you think they're going to do?
Well, look, I mean, whatever the scheduling issues are, they've said what they're going to do. I think it's problematic. I think in the streaming era, one of the things that you want to do is shows have to have momentum. Like HBO, you know that House of the Dragon, it's going to take a long time because it's a very handsome show. It's got a big audience and it's worth the wait. For a show like this, that admittedly, John, was surprisingly good. I will admit that. But they should have these things, I think, if they know the scripts are good, they know the cast is good, you've got to set it up in such a way that when you have younger kids, that if you want to continue this as a viable franchise, I think that there's got to be some better planning involved. Having the turnaround of 2 or 3 years is not good for a show. People are like, the way things, it's in one ear and out the other. Huh? What? And then when the second season comes, it's like, I was going to watch it, but I don't even remember the first season, so I'll pass. I don't think it does well for a franchise, and I don't think it does well for the analytics to wait so long for a show to show up, especially like this. It's not a House of the Dragon. It's a beloved show, but even your audience, as you pointed out, along with the characters, is going to age.
Yeah.
And their interests are going to change in 3 years. I mean, you might go from being 15 to being 18, and now you're in college, and you're not going to have time to watch Percy Jackson anymore.
And you know,
you're going to be protesting.
One of our viewers yesterday brought up a really great point that I hadn't even really thought about. When you have a show that, say, like a Percy Jackson, that is quite popular, very well done, kudos to Disney Plus for it. But when you make then your audience wait a year and a half, 2 years, 2 years plus for the next season, the number one enemy of the streaming world right now, of streamers, is churn. For those of you, we throw that word a lot. For those of you who don't know what churn is basically, and I'm oversimplifying it, but somebody subscribes to, say, Disney Plus, but they subscribe to watch Mandalorian. And when Mandalorian's done, they cancel.
Yeah.
And then they go and subscribe to another streamer that has a show they want to watch. When that show's done, they cancel. And then maybe when Mandalorian comes back, they'll sign back up. You know, one of our viewers yesterday pointed out that the longer you go in between these popular shows to get them done, you are actually encouraging and running the risk of more churn, which is the number one thing streamers are trying to fight.
100%.
And
Tina Turners. or after Turners. You know, but if it's good, you'll never forget that Percy. I love Percy.
They're just raggedy streamers.
Churners. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Listen, we all carry around different stressors, big and small. When we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever is weighing on you. I've said for a long time, it's time for us to start prioritizing mental health as much as we prioritize physical health. You know, we encourage each other when we go to the gym to take care of ourselves physically. Well, it's time we start encouraging each other to take care of ourselves mentally as well. So if you're thinking about taking that step and prioritizing your mental health, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. All right. Guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? According to Forbes, at least, they're figuring that it's possible we may not get Percy Jackson season 2, which was a delightful show, until like 2026. They've got to figure out a solution to this. Anyway, guys, whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.